welcome back to Bro, Where's My Phone? The podcast and radio show on 92 KELZ. New music, new artists, and new sound. I am photographer Christopher Allen with my co-host. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
We are doing great.
It's been great.
I don't know if I'm convinced. Are you great or are you like Tony the Tiger great?
No. I will be that great at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it'd be like 3:59 for
It's
me.
been a good week. It's been a good week,
It's
right?
been an awesome week, man.
We've
Been grinding. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you joined us last week, we had Scott Free, poet Scott Free on the station, and we had his lovely partner. Her name was Courtney Lynn.
Yes, sir.
And yesterday was the poetry show, right? Sold out poetry show. It was amazing. Well, it was a really, really great show.
Fire.
Shout out to We Go Live, man.
Yes, it was We Go Live.
We Go
And
Live.
of course, C. Allen. That's me. I did the red carpet. I like looking at people and taking pictures and people watching. And we were all behind cameras though, but it was a good show. We also did the teachers only tour. Now it's named I'm Professionally Developed.
Already professionally developed, yeah.
Professionally developed with Eddie B. And we are, starting over again this year. Well, we'll be, bringing comedy and pictures and all that good stuff to everybody.
Yes, sir.
But this show, tonight we have a really, really special guest in the studio. You know we love our artists in Houston, and that's just working the whole entire area. Should I give it to you right now if you're listening? I think so.
You should. I think so.
Yes.
Well, I want to introduce to Bro, Where's My Phone? Actress, singer, and songwriter, Belle Lundon.
Whoop, whoop. Hi.
Welcome to
Good
the
be
show.
Here.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, no, it's awesome to be here. I mean, this place is just so dope. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. 92 KELZ. We are in Houston, and I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but we have a good hour to let people know who you are.
Oh, man.
I'm going to just pass you the
guys
mic.
ready? Oh, my God. All right, well, let's get ready for new music, new artists, new sound. I'm excited to be here, so thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So how was your day?
Today was pretty relaxed. You know, I went to the studio earlier today. Shout out to Kalani on the beat and Jay Tao. We got some new music cooking in the studio. I just love being in the studio. That's my oasis.
That's home.
Yes, love being
Comfortable.
in the studio. I've got to be back there tomorrow all day cooking up a new song. It's going to be Love Me remixed. So
Okay.
that's that. And then I got my nails done today. That's about it. I tried to look fresh. I wanted to look fresh for you
Yeah,
guys.
you got to do a little pampering every now and then.
Yeah, ladies know. Yes, we have to. We love it.
Yep, you're on the show with 3 photographers. So
Nice.
you already knew what to do because, look, you never know. It's like 5 lenses in here, 6, 7 lenses in here.
Right, there's a lot of
Glad
media
to be here,
content.
too. Yeah.
To let you know a little bit about Bro, Where's My Phone? We started as a podcast, and now we're on 92 KELZ. We're a techie. We're creatives. We love creating. We love other creatives. And so we talk a lot of noise about our phones. And it's my co-host. We were going in because I felt like anybody and everybody can be. I might have changed it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I knew you was about to say it.
But I felt like anybody can be taught photography from their phone. And my partner over here, she begged to differ. She was like, We've trained. We've took classes. We've invested. We're photographers.
This
Right.
equipment ain't cheap.
It's not cheap. No, sir.
Oh my gosh, I have a Canon that I've had for like maybe a year and a half, and it's been sitting in the corner.
Right.
Chris.
Oh.
And you tried to teach me a little bit. Yeah, you were trying to teach me.
We're just getting started.
She says
And
it's
I
sitting
feel
in
like
the corner.
a few more sessions, we gotta keep the practicing going. It's not
I
easy,
dusted
is it?
off a little bit, but you know,
Oh,
I use my iPhone a lot.
That's
you know?
heartbreaking. Here you got to dust
Oh,
off a
man.
camera.
Yeah.
Sorry, Canon.
Let's say you want to hear about it having minor scratches and stuff, not no dust.
Which brings me to my next question. We asked all of our guests what phone do they have, what cell phone do they rock with.
I'm rocking the iPhone 10 right now.
Team Blue Bubbles.
Okay. Well, you family, we're all
He
team
gets a little
iPhone.
excited about it.
That was a lot of excitement, Tony.
That was. Cause we've been, no, man.
I said this is funny. I said the first time I get a check from, it could be Cricket. I don't care.
Man, look.
I'm not
Changing it
mentioning
up.
no other company. But hopefully, like you said, we all team iPhone, like we joke and play. But we've done pretty good.
They got heated last week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a little mini war zone up in here behind iPhone and Android.
Oh, why? Somebody was connected to their Android?
Well, what was it? They both, one had one and the other had the other. So what was
Of
it?
course, the person with the Android is going to rep their Android real hard.
And that's
Right.
that's it. Shout out to Scott Free, man.
You can't drop a pen with an Android. You can't drop a pen with an Android. can you?
Sounds like some shots are being fired up in here. Watch out,
Can you
Android.
do a screenshot with Android?
Oh man, see, that's the question I don't know.
I don't
I don't know the answer
I don't
to.
know what.
I really with an Android.
Look at him, he's like,
Got the
yes, we
Android. He's trying to talk it up right now.
But can you
gotta go.
airdrop? That's my favorite feature right now, the airdrop.
Right.
You can with an Android. You just got to go through 12 steps to get the right app to be able to do it.
Like,
That
alcohol,
sounds like shots
12
fired too.
Low key.
Well, Belle, I would ask you a question to get things started off tonight. How long have you, Houston, New Orleans native, right?
Yes. I was
How
born
did
and
you
raised
get
in
to
New
Houston?
Okay, all right.
Oh man, I want to say the hurricane brought me.
Let's keep it real.
No, that's not exactly true. I finished high school in I actually went to high school in Houston too.
Okay.
It's really weird. I spent half of my life in Houston, half of my life in New Orleans, but I was born in New Orleans. I went to, this is boring. You sure you want to hear all of this?
Let's hear it.
Tell your
So, you know,
story.
we've had a lot of New
Oh
Orleans
my
guests.
gosh. Okay. So I went to high school out there. Then I went to college in Los Angeles. Then the hurricane brought my family to Houston, but we lived out here before. And my dad loves, shout out to Papa, he loves Houston. My mom always is trying to go back to New Orleans, like all the time. Always try to find a reason to go back to New Orleans. Oh, I got a cough. He goes to the doctor in New Orleans. Like, literally, my dad would drive 6 hours just to go.
To be
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Like, my mom, sorry, Mom, but she loves New Orleans.
She just putting the moms out there.
Yeah, you know what? But New Orleans is magical though too, just like H-Town. It's just something about
Right.
that city, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Just like H-Town. H-Town is magical with the music. We got some stuff cooking in H-Town that we got some dope artists coming out of this city. It's crazy.
True
right?
that.
It is a lot. It's our goal to find them and put them on. And,
Yeah.
pretty much network. That's what we do. Tony, yesterday we saw the performance with the artists. I thought about you. We had a guy that performed at the poetry show, and what was his name?
Dende. Shout out to Dende.
Oh, Dende. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. It made me think about the time how I met you was at an open mic here in Houston
Oh my gosh, yes, I remember that.
at the wine bar. You do
Yes,
remember that?
It was like wasn't it just kind of like opening that place? I'm not really sure.
It
but-
It had been open a
fairly
little
new.
while. They
Yeah.
just kind of started doing the open mic.
And you know, it's so funny, that place is called Momo's, and growing up, when I was part of a girl group back in the day, that was my name, Momo. Yes. And
Okay.
that's still my eBay
Can we
user
call you
ID.
Momo on the show? No.
No.
But if I find your MySpace page or Black Planet,
You know
maybe
what?
it's Momo.
You out of line.
Come on, man.
MySpace.
I'm a loyal member of eBay, and my user ID is 504 Momo.
Nice.
Okay. What inspired you to get into what inspired you to sing and write?
You know, it started off like when I was 2 years old. You know how when you're in church and like towards the end, people start leaving because, you know, they want to get to their car because there may be traffic and stuff like that, right?
Right, that's Tony. Just kidding.
Wait,
Tony.
what? Oh, blast,
Making sure
man.
they're listening. Making sure they're listening.
Well, the pastor decided to use me as a person to sing the very last song at the end of service. And I was only 2, so it was like a few sentences. It was like, I'm so glad that Jesus lives in me. I'm so glad that Jesus lives in me. We just keep on singing it over and over. And that's how he got the church members to stay to the very end, because, you know, this little 2-year-old was going to sing this song. And
Right.
people just wanted to see this little 2-year-old with ruffled socks You know,
Right. I remember
and
those.
sing the song.
Those socks. My sister had the socks. The
Ruffle
ruffles.
socks. My mom saved me in the ruffle socks, man.
Right. Okay.
And then, you know, from there, I just always loved music. I mean, I remember having like this bookshelf, and at the very end of the bookshelf, like at the bottom, there was a boom box, and I used to stick my head in the boom box. I'm kind of deaf now because of it. So I always listened to like Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson,
Some great artists.
Mariah
Right.
Carey. I even listened to my dad. He really got me into the vinyls too from early on. So I was even listening to like Aretha and Shirley.
Oh, okay.
Bassey,
Yeah.
Grace Jo- like from young, you know.
Right.
So if I wasn't, you know, watching TV, you know, trying to keep up with the big comfy couch, I was having my head at the bottom of that bookshelf, just listening to music and just imagining, you know, that could be me one day, you know. Just
Right.
And I still believe that it can happen for me.
Right.
And it's happening right now. I mean, look at me. I'm right here with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And your talent, you meet some great other artists, and you be like, man, when I meet people, and I have clients like this, when I meet people, it's like I have a comedian, Eddie B. It was like, I wonder, this dude's hilariously funny. I wonder how many other people know about this person.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, how can I put them on? Being that I'm a tech nerd, I'm like, I wonder, do they have any YouTube videos? And in the beginning, I couldn't find anything. Well, guess what? Hey, let me help you out. Let's
You're the man
put you
behind
on.
the camera.
Yeah, so I feel like with technology being the way that it is now, we're able to do that, and we don't have to necessarily wait on like someone to discover us. And it's kind of like, let's put ourselves on and our friends,
Right.
our friends on. So would you say in your music, growing up, all of those tunes like Aretha Franklin and all the soulful music goes into your music? Because I had a listening party with the tracks that you sent me.
Oh my gosh, did you?
And it's really soulful music. It's great. And
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, they definitely had some influence on me. But so far, all of the songs that I've sung, I've written. And I'm very, very protective over my lyrics. But it's very, it's a hard thing when you actually perform your lyrics because it's like you're being naked because you're actually you're expressing your
You
emotions.
say you're burying
It's
yourself,
like,
yeah.
it's like you basically, you know,
Right.
like, here's my diary, guys. You know,
Right.
like, you read my journal, and it's kind of nerving, but I love it too because you meet so many people, and I think that's, you know, the main thing that I
Right.
love most is just, you know, interacting, meeting new people, so
Right.
many people.
And in a sense, you might be speaking for them too, with your own experiences. You know, being transparent like that.
Yeah,
So.
very true. Very
Right.
True.
I do have a question though.
Okay.
Just to kind of lighten it up.
All right.
Who would you like to collaborate with, dead or alive? Like, what would be your dream collaboration?
Man, okay. I don't know. Let's see. I want to say Grace Jones, but you know,
Okay.
that would be weird. I mean, but I think she's awesome, you know. And I wish I could have worked with David Bowie. Like, I love that song Lazarus.
Okay.
But right now, she's pregnant. But I love Kaylani. I wish I could work with her right now. Just because she's pregnant, we could be in the studio. I'll rub her feet.
Right.
I'm like, go in the studio, baby. Then I'll do my next, you know, verse. But let me see, who else? Who else would I love to work with? Oh man, I like Gucci. I love his confidence. You know,
right, he's consistent too.
confidence. And of course, you know, Bruno Mars. He comes out with the hits like it's nothing.
Right.
I mean, I could go on and on
can
and
go.
on. You know.
Right. Tony asked a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony, that was a great question.
I try.
You stumped me there.
He was like, what can I ask? I'm going to put her on the spot.
Well, because
on the spot.
because y'all were mentioning inspiration, so I was just like, well, you know, maybe there's somebody out there that you may ideally want to work with. So
I do. You know who else I want to work with?
Mhm.
Lecrae.
I was listening to some Lecrae earlier. He be jamming.
Another very good
I
guy.
just
Yeah,
wanna
he's
be able to
dope.
take, you know, I mean, even though I do all types of music, I love, you know, inspirational music.
Right.
And I love being able to sing. I mean, I started off singing in the church.
Right.
But the thing is that I would like to take that music and make it, even though I love traditional sounds of gospel, but I want it to be able to sound like, are we in the club? But no, this is about God.
Right.
You know, I would love
Right.
to do that too. So that's what I'm cooking.
Definitely.
That's what I'm
and
cooking.
You've been cooking. You've been cooking.
Thank you. A
Yeah.
little seasoning on it.
From New Orleans.
There you go. There you go.
Is it true that people say you can leave, especially New Orleans, you can leave New Orleans, but it'll never leave you?
Baby, it will always stay in you. Okay, it will never leave.
Right.
I lost my accent because I took
That was
dialect
good,
classes. Shout out to Fran Bennett. This is from your diaphragm. But yeah, baby, I could go back to the New Orleans accent anytime.
I did not know.
Oh, definitely. I love the gumbo. I love the Cafe Du Monde. I love my beignets.
Oh man.
Okay.
New Orleans people are not
Totally
from New
switched
Orleans.
it up.
We
Right.
think of, we think of the Mardi Gras Essence Festival and people invade your city, but it's a lot of nice spots that are not necessarily popular, but are still amazing. Art galleries,
Amen.
Spaces.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
How often do you get to visit back?
Well, if I am traveling with my mom, I'll probably be there every week. But I haven't been back in a while. My parents are probably going to go tomorrow. I probably should go with them just to... Oh, I have to go to the studio. I'm probably going to go back maybe next month. I go back like once every 3 months, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just once in a while, get an Airbnb, you know, stay near the French Quarters because I love just walking in the French Quarters. That's my thing. Like the cathedral, that's my spot. Like if I were to have like just a little place for, let me tell you a little story. Can I tell you a little story?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so the cathedral is actually very special to me because that place is where my grandfather, he used to change, well, let me back it up. He used to be a janitor there.
Okay.
And then from being a janitor, he started doing the gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Then from the gardening, he started to do the time. And they called him Father Time. Then after that, they made him deacon. So he literally made his way up. And when he passed away, they actually did like a whole service through the, like, you know how the traditional, where they carry you through the streets with the trumpets and things like that. So whenever I
that's amazing.
Yeah, so whenever I want to go to New Orleans and just, you know, just feel centered and just get a little piece of home and put it back in my spirit.
Realign the chi.
I go there and then I hit Cafe Du Monde right after. I love the Cafe au Lait.
I haven't seen those in your pictures. I like stalk people's Facebook pages and Instagram.
Oh my God.
Right. When I like New
Chris
Orleans,
is a professional
I'm listening
Instagram
to your
stalker.
music. Here's my,
Okay, let me clarify.
Clear it up.
I'm going to
We
clarify.
live on there.
here's my story, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. I have no social life, despite what it looks like.
I wasn't going to even
I
go
am
there.
a workaholic, right? So, and I'm a little lazy when it comes to going out, parking, waiting in a line. I don't like clubs. Like, if I don't know someone there, I'm not going to like the old school way of going out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's easier for me to live through people's live, Facebook
stop.
Live. I'm like, why did you? Now I'm thinking like, no. That's hilarious.
I wasn't
guys
going to
are my
even go there,
social life.
Rob,
Plus, you
Chris.
get to discover people who are doing it.
Right.
That's my fix it. You mentioned earlier. You mentioned that I think she was a acting coach.
Who was?
You mentioned
Fran Bennett?
Yeah, I think that was her name.
About the dialect, losing the
Right.
accent?
That was a good segue for your acting career.
Yeah.
Does music come along with that? Because you're all around talented.
Yeah, that's kind of, okay, so that's a funny story. So I was at Cal Arts. That's where I went to school. And I was a scholarship kid there, but I really was very bad. Like, I just was, I feel bad about it. I was never in class. I did go a couple of times, once in a while, but when I did go, I definitely soaked up as much as I could. And
Right.
the people that stuck out to me the most was my Shakespeare teacher and my dialect teacher. And then we also did yoga, and that somehow reflected later on in my life because I'm certified in yoga, but I never really teach it too much. I teach it sometimes as a volunteer thing, but
Right.
But back to your thing about how the acting come along. I was at Cal Arts, and then I always had an agent. Ever since I was a child, because
Good representation.
I grew up looking at Raven Simone.
Right.
She's like my age, so I would always ask my mom, how is this little girl Or how is this person that looks like me
Right.
on the TV? Because I wanted to do that. I mean, at first I wanted to be. I remember I said Big Comfy Couch. Y'all remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
I loved her. She was this little girl that was on this big couch, and I was like, she has her own show. And then I actually saw a girl of color
Right.
on television, and I was like, man, I want to do that too. But my mom was very hesitant. She didn't want me to do it, and I kept on crying, but that didn't work because then I got whoopings. So eventually, what I decided to do was I said, I'm going to memorize what she's saying. And I remember I memorized the whole scene. She had a scene where she was cracking some eggs, and I remember I was just like, Mom, sit here, and I want to act something out. And I acted the whole thing out front. She was convinced. She's like, okay, I'm going to get you an agent. And so I've always had an agent. And when I was at CalArts, man, I'm long-winded.
No,
tell your story. Tell your story.
Photographers, we love
I
stories.
was say we love
You hear us
stories.
quiet? We're quiet because we're listening.
Yeah,
and
we're
taking it in.
engaged.
I'm over here locked in.
But yeah, so I got the call from my agent, get this, for a film to play the best friend of guess who? Raven Simone.
Nice.
Man.
Crazy, right?
Wow. Energy.
So I feel like, as you know, when we're young, we have all this confidence, you know, but somewhere along the line, you know, we kind of let the world affect us. Back then, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was ready. I was like, this part is mine. You know?
Right.
I walked up in that audition room like I already had it. And as a matter of fact, I mean, like, the casting director was like, okay. And I walked to my car, and then my dad said, you know, how did it go? And I realized I had forgot something, and I asked him to go, please, Dad, can you go get it for me? And when he went to go back and get it for me, they said, go tell your daughter that she got the part.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I had the part, and I was working with Raven.
Nice.
I was so happy.
Let's go full
I
circle.
had my stand-in. Me and my stand-in were like best friends. We was like best friends. And then we
Right.
had like the after party at 360 in New Orleans. I don't know if you guys, it's like the world, like it's a club that just literally spins.
Oh, it literally
that's
spins.
dope.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
Okay.
That's dope.
It's right by right by Canal Street. And so yeah, that's how acting came, and I just fell in love with it. Shout out to Ernest Dickerson. He was a director. He also did Walking Dead and a lot of other films, and man, I just fell in love with it. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And you know, it translates into music too, because emotions. You know, who's
Right.
gonna listen to your music if they can't relate emotionally?
Right.
So
Right. So when you're memorizing lines, and
Whew, that's
do you
hard
have
to
to?
do. It's hard.
Do you literally become that character mentally? Is it more to it? Because I've seen people. I've been on set doing production, and I've seen characters literally almost zone out to where they close their eyes. They're in a corner.
Oh my gosh.
On This Is Me production. Big ups to Mikhail Fetty, because we filmed, and I'm like, are they okay? Because I wasn't used to, he was, you know, like breathing exercises. I didn't know what it was. Do you do all of those things to get into character?
Okay, so this is my process. Yoga's really helped me. What I do is, from the moment I get the lines, I write the character's name big at the top of those sides. Sides are the lines, is your script. From that point on, I'm Candace, I'm Amber, I'm whoever that character is. And my manager would tell you, if I have an audition, I shut the world off. Literally, no phone calls, nothing. Because, I mean, I literally get into character. Now, no, I'm not no weirdo, you know. I am a little bit of a weirdo.
Oh, you're an artist.
Okay.
So you're artist, yeah.
We gotta shut it down at some
Right,
point.
right.
But yeah, I shut the world completely off, and those words become my words. And I literally say, okay, if I'm a lawyer, how would I defend this person? If I am someone's sister, how would I react to this? You know, and acting is really not hard. It really isn't. Essentially, it's just memorizing the lines and putting yourself in that situation and believing that you are that person. That's it.
You made it sound really easy.
But it can be it can be draining too, because one of my biggest fears is if I ever have to play somebody that's an addict, because that's probably the hardest and most draining thing you could ever do. Like, I applaud Angelina Jolie when she did Gia, because, I mean, doing roles like that, someone who had a drug addiction and, you know, died from, you know, a disease. I mean, gosh, how can you bounce back from that? I mean, people, you know, you hear the story about Heath Ledger, but I don't want to make it so down. I'm just saying that, you know, you really got to pour yourself into it.
Right. Because my mom went to Halle Berry in Losing Isaiah. So, was it Losing Isaiah?
I was about to say, I was thinking of Halle Berry. You said Attic. Her first role was the Attic in Jungle Fever. So that's the role I was thinking of.
Who, Halle Berry?
Yeah, that was
Halle Berry and
show,
Samuel
right?
Jackson were crackheads.
I mean,
Yeah, they were. You're right.
so I thought
You're right.
Wasn't Samuel L. Jackson too, right?
Yeah, they were a crackhead couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That man don't turn down no work either.
Right.
You gotta have more people of color on the screen, you know?
Oh, yeah.
My mom and dad are always asking, man, why I always see the same people on the screen every time? See, directors, they always want to use somebody that they feel is not a risk. So, but the thing is that I just wish that more people of color can continue being on the screen.
Right.
My hopes is to have a production company, and just like how you're helping people, giving a platform to be heard, you know, I think that's very important. So congrats to you, blessings to you for what you're doing right now.
Absolutely. That's what's up.
It pays to be nosy and ask people.
And to stalk, it pays.
There you go.
Stalking is. Let's not use the
where
word
I was
stalk. I set myself up for failure.
I'm playing.
Bill is the first person to embarrass me. I'm sure.
Meow, 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 meow.
You and this arrow.
Well, here's a lighter question. When you stressed, go ahead, go to the Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's best album.
Oh, come on. Why you off the wall?
Or Off the Wall. Or
I like history. I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
His story.
it's interesting that you say that, because we got into like a little debate about it for the longest, and I was telling him, like, I feel that those were his two like biggest albums, but Bad is my favorite.
Yo, I had that set. I loved his. Remember all those buckles he had? Oh my god! I wanted that whole setup. You know.
That's fun that you say history, because, like, you know, that's his biggest one. But
you don't hear a lot of
everybody
people say
has
that,
their
right?
own.
Their
like,
own Michael Jackson.
First of all, you have to like Michael.
Right.
It's just a matter
there's
of
not
which
many people that
album.
don't like him. Right.
Yes. Can we just leave Michael alone? I love him, right?
Yeah.
Man,
We all
yes.
love him. He's
Really?
a good man.
Leave him alone. Leave the man alone.
Yes.
It's just been an ongoing conversation about. It's barbershop talk, I guess you can say, with albums, but it's all great music.
Oh, yeah.
They're still talking
absolutely.
about it in 2019.
Absolutely.
We know it's timeless.
It's
music.
timeless, right?
It's gonna be here. It was a
Those
little
are
girl
albums
on
over 30 years
Instagram
old.
Those albums are
saying,
old.
"Stop talking about Michael. I'm just now discovering him." This girl's like 8 years old. So
That shows you how powerful his music resonates.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And you said the key word, timeless, and that's what I'm hoping to do with my music. I want it to be timeless. You
Right.
know? I want it to, for years to come, my soul to keep will still be current.
And that was one of my questions that I wanted to ask you. What would you like your art to do? And you kind of answered it. You do want it to be timeless.
You know, I think the key to having timeless music is using live instrumentation, because produced music is constantly evolving.
True.
You know, I love staying current. I love DJs. You know, I love
Okay.
I love just being lost in loud music. I will go to a techno club alone. I'm notorious for going to places alone and just film watching, because I don't.
Stalking, film watching.
Okay, you said you weren't gonna say
We
stalking.
keep throwing that word. Is that the word of the day?
I'm not trying to be the only one that
Okay, shots fired. All right.
Chris trying to drag you in with
continue.
him.
So he ain't going down alone.
I gotta change the narrative.
I forgot what I was talking about though. What were we
Going to the club alone,
Oh,
I believe. Yeah.
It's something that you really, want to listen to and check
Right,
out.
right.
Most people may not be willing to be open, but it's great that you're an open artist and you can go vibe out in different venues.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't care about going alone. I do not care about going alone. I went to the House of Blues alone just like 2 days ago, and I found 2 people. And what's great about going alone is because I'm only like, okay, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm 4'11", but I always see 5'2".
We can see you.
Okay, so even though I'm only 5'2", I sure will. You know, I could just go zoom right. I can be in a crowded place, and I will sure get to the very, very front of that stage because nobody says no when I say, hey, do you mind if I stand here? Because they're gonna see over me anyway.
Right. I like that.
That's a way. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man.
Into a strength.
There you go. There you go.
What has been your most memorable moment just in career? Like it was.
Memorable moment. Oh my gosh, I kind of regret it. But okay, my memorable moment is I did American Idol, and I made it to the Hollywood finals. But I had to choose if I wanted to do the Lifetime movie with Raven-Symoné or American Idol. And I chose.
That's a tough decision.
Yes, it was, because I had to literally choose between acting or music. It literally happened at the same time. I was like, God, why can't I, you know? But I chose to do the film instead because I felt like I didn't have to win anything. It was already a given.
Right.
Whereas with American Idol would have been, you know, challenges. I knew it would be stressful.
Right.
But I do regret it because, you know, that was the year of, I think, Carrie Underwood. And I just look at her all the time. And her life is just so amazing, you know.
Right.
And I mean, she's always winning those awards at the CMAs. So,
Right,
I mean, wow.
Have you been to any award shows that you remember?
Oh yeah.
Lots?
Yeah. I'm not lots. I mean, not lots. But but yeah, I mean, I enjoy award shows. I mean, I grew up going to award type stuff, like when I was in speech and debate, going to tournaments, you know. It was always a sport, the creative arts. So, I mean, even to this day, I'll judge high schools for their acting tournaments because I just love people just being creative. Like, it's amazing. Yeah.
Right. Like I said, we just doing photography. I still don't look at myself as a photographer.
Right.
I look
Artist
at myself
first.
as someone artist, because that camera could be a keyboard, and I'm going to. I call it pimp it out. I'm going to use it. This camera, maybe that's a wrong choice of words.
Chris is on them today,
When I say,
man.
you bring the camera in my hand, I'm going to teach myself how to use it. I took it serious. I'm going to go to school and really learn it, you know, the details of it. But if it wasn't a camera, it can be another instrument, and it's going to be the same thing. Like in my head, I'm a DJ. They don't know it. My concerts are in the car. And I will book myself. That's how... But I want to know from you, have you had any, like positive experiences with photographers and any interactions?
Positive, well, I mean, okay, I love being able to become more confident through photos because you cannot hide anything. I mean, of course, some people Photoshop, but you see yourself and you are in control of how you want to present yourself to the world. And I love taking photos. I take photos of Ruben Stunner a lot. Shout out to him. And I love just meeting new people, but if I'm taking photos, it's really about the location and the moment and whatever is going on, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm going to bounce it to Artistic Rebel. That's her code name.
Okay.
He said code name.
Code name.
And she's going to kick in. We have a segment called Shoot Your Shot.
Okay.
And we basically, for our listeners who maybe want information, we have questions, people send us questions in online on Facebook, Instagram about photography. So they get to ask that question. We do our best to answer it. And you can just jump in if you feel like you are motivated to. Okay, what you got for me?
Well, it's not an actual question, but right now, South by Southwest is going on, and it is a ton of photographers there roaming. Some of them probably like how I did, just take your camera down there and try to get into a show and see who you can get on stage. Like you make friends, network, all that stuff. But I
Right.
want to bring up the lenses you should have for shows, because we shot the poetry show last night, the comedy show the night before last, and you get a lot of people, like, not necessarily all photographers, but they want to know what lenses to buy. And our stuff can get quite pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But there are two lenses specifically that can work just about anywhere you go. Tony?
Are we going to talk about that lens today?
The first lens is the 24 to 70.
Right. That's the bread and butter right there.
The 24 to 70
Rest in
millimeter 2.8 lens
To my-
that Tony just happened to. Is destroy a good word?
It was not destroyed. It was dropped.
But yes, the 24 to 70 lens, that if you're, first of all, it's a 2.8 lens, which means that the aperture is wide open. It's open for more lighting. If you're in dark, like I said, concerts or any other like lounges,
area,
something
right.
yeah, the darkness, that lens is going to get you, especially if you have any type of light, it's going to get you superb look.
Right.
So the 2.8, 24 to 70. And the other is the 70 to 200, which is my baby. I haven't broke mine.
Come on, man.
That one, if the room is a little bit more bigger, and it's a super versatile lens. Like, you use it for concerts. I use it for sports. You can use it for portraits. Like, it's nothing that lens can cover. The 24 to 72, but that 70 to 200, that's my baby. Those are the two lenses that I would offer you up to get. It is a little pricey. There is a place here, photorentalsource.com. Shout out to them. They have saved my life. You can rent it, test it out. You like it, buy used. That's also another option because, like I said, this stuff gets expensive.
Yes.
And you can
Yes.
call Christopher Allen, and I'll show you, set up some sessions and show you how to use that camera.
That is true.
Yeah, Bill. Question.
Crickets. I'm still learning. It sounds interesting though.
We're going to help you knock that dust off.
Yeah, right.
I still need to. Yes, you're right.
When you perform, when you're on stage, are you in your own mental? Do you escape, or do you look out into the audience and see people?
You know, that is such a good question. So, people say they become something else, you know?
Right.
But see, I do that with acting.
Right.
And I feel like, okay, well, if these are my lyrics, why would I become somebody else? And I fight my manager on this because he's like, you need to become somebody like, he makes up some weird name. What's the name you come up? I don't know. He just comes up with some weird name.
Yes. Right.
Retronka. I don't know. But the thing is,
Trunk, I like that.
Retronka. You know?
I'm Bill, bro.
I'm Belle,
Say,
bro.
bro.
Okay, so I want to just be myself, you know, and being myself is, I think, you can't lose that way. I mean, either you're gonna love me or you're gonna hate me, and if I'm staring into the audience and I see love from people, I mean, that only fuels me. But if I see somebody that's just looking at me, you know, just like, what she gonna do?
Right.
I love singing to them.
Right. I was gonna say,
I will literally go up to the house, sing to them. I will sing to you, baby, and just give you all of my attention.
Right. You'll win them over. You'll win them over as a fan.
I love it.
On the
know?
stage, man.
Make him
Yeah.
a believer.
There you go. That's how you do it.
One time I was singing in church, and I remember there was this little boy. I think he was like 10. And I was singing my soul to keep, and I don't know, it didn't hurt my feelings, but he fell asleep like this, like his head kept on going down like this, and then his mama just popped him up in the face. It was so funny. And this was in church.
Little boy. It was a little boy.
He was about 10, but
Yeah.
I will never forget it. Like he was falling asleep. You know how kids are. I mean, I fall asleep.
Right.
In
The
church
church,
sometimes. You know, well, sometimes.
When you a child.
When you a child.
Right.
Yes.
Over.
Right,
Yes,
right.
Yes, but it was so funny because she's woke up
I mean, yeah, we weren't allowed to fall asleep in church.
Yeah.
We catch that backhand too.
Yeah.
Yes. Catch that back here real quick. Yes.
Because I had a comedian that I was talking to, and most comedians, he was like, I'm very, that comedian said he's the type of person that if he's telling a joke, he's doing his set, and he can have everybody in the room laughing, but if it's one person that's not laughing, he says, I'm going to make that person laugh. Like, he won't be satisfied until he wins over. He was like, it might be selfish, but it's just a personal goal of his.
Oh, I have an
thought that
idea
was
who that is.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about technology as it relates to today with all of the social media going on, and how do you use social media?
Well, I applaud you guys because I do get nervous when it comes to technology because, you know, so many gadgets and so many different ways you can reach people. I just do the standard, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. But Facebook, not really so much. My parents use that a lot. I mean, I use Facebook too, but not
Was
really
that
so
an
much.
implementation? What's the word?
I'm just saying
implying?
that
Oh.
Facebook is, you know, it's like your parents' Instagram.
It's
Right. I heard the
It's
shade.
true.
It's
It's
okay.
true.
It's true.
I
It's
do
true.
on
Okay.
Facebook. Facebook, I love you. But but you know, and people say Snapchat is dead, but I love Snapchat because it's just like so easy. You just press a button. I think what it is that technology kind of scares me when there's too many buttons. If there's just like one button or two, then I won't get so intimidated. And that's why with cameras, I'm just so intrigued at how you guys are using it because there's just like so many buttons. And then you was talking about lenses, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was a 24/7 lens. Is there a 24/7 lens? No, I'm probably saying it wrong.
It's close.
It's close. It's close.
We use it 24/7.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's a new nickname for it.
Yeah. When I hear photographers talk, I put myself as a person that didn't know what they were talking about and wondering if they're like, I don't know, is that math?
All that
But
jargon.
it's jargon that we know. You know, we that's how we get the good quality pictures.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, I know social media can be crazy, and it's a lot of noise is what I call it on, you know, just every day.
Yeah.
We all have a certain amount of energy before we get tired. So we like to not engage in a lot of that on social media, like the junk kind of junky and whatever. Some people love it for entertainment. We try to like look for new artists, new people, and follow them. I'm sure they follow a ton of photographers.
Yeah.
Do you follow anybody in your industry, like any other artists?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because like everybody that are my friends, it seems like, you know, they're all creative beings. You know?
yeah. Right.
So I have a lot of people who have a passion for photography and a passion for making music or passion for modeling or you know, instruments that they play. It just seems like that's what my world, my environment is. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of those people. I do have, you know, some random dentists and lawyers that, you know,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
or
Right.
whatever. But I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, that seems pretty much to be my world right now.
You get the hair weave account too?
Get a what?
The hair weave accounts?
Oh my God, bundles! Those bundles.
Mine is scams likely. If they keep calling me like we in a relationship, y'all get the
Oh
scam
my
likely
gosh.
calls on the phone, the robocalls.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
introduce you to the app of the week. It is called Robo Killer. It sends you a notification and it says.
Oh, I'm getting there after the show.
What is it?
It's called Robo Killer. It's did I send y'all that screenshot? The little video shot one time. It has different prompts, and like I didn't know that it had different prompts. And it was one like it was a Donald Trump impersonator. Like if a telemarketer called, and the guy was like, "What do you want? I'm here busy running the country." And
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I
like,
need that.
I played it. I didn't realize that it had it. I thought I just set it to default, and I played it. And I was at work just dying because the man would try to, like, the telemarketer would try to talk, and he cut him. He literally cut him off like that.
Oh.
And he was like, "You people call all the time. What do you want?" I'm at
Nice.
work just like rolling, like I had no idea all of this was going on. It's called Let me see. Hold on. I
So
want to say it's
that's
a
what it
robo
was
killer.
when I called you. That's what I heard.
I
don't know how you did that.
That was not
Shut
you.
down.
I'm just.
Yes,
curious.
robo killer is the name of it.
Oh, I need that in my life. I need that in my life like today. That's happening. That's yes, that's happening.
Bill, what apps do you normally go to on a regular?
What that screen time like?
To tell you the truth,
Mine's
I
been
use
down.
Wizzo. Wizzo is like my top app right now. Wizzo is like this community of people that are like a second family to me. It's really like a second family. I kid you not. Like there's so many people I connect with. It's basically Wizzo is a community-based app where if you struggle with anxiety, depression, coping with addiction, it doesn't even have to be that serious. You could just be moving, or or if you are dealing with transitioning to becoming a vegan.
Right.
And it's just a community of people that come together and they just talk about just different things. And what I love about it is you don't have to put your name out there, but I do put my first and last name there because I don't have anything to hide, and people know I'm crazy. I'm doing crazy things. I remember just this morning there was this girl who was sounding off about, oh my gosh, I'm just so angry because my boyfriend doesn't send me good morning texts every morning. I'm getting so aggravated. So I be sounding off. I be like, girl, I'm a gangster. But I'm not mean, I just say how I feel, and people love that. They love realness. People crave realness.
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely.
They
Yeah.
really do.
They want authenticity.
It kind of rises to the top. Like when you, especially because we in the industries that we're in, we meet a lot of people. A lot of people running this way. People are doing this way. Different, from egos all the way to whatever. But the people who are, I guess, authentic, they tend to rise in those relationships. We usually network, do some business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, throwback. Our show happens to be on a Thursday. So, one show we had a Throwback Thursday. It's a throwback memory from either childhood or just a couple years ago. Do you have any throwback memories from?
Oh man,
Way back when.
When
I'll
you
get
said
something.
that, I instantly thought of my first kiss. Oh my gosh, do y'all guys
Don't
remember?
tell our business. Nah, I'm playing.
Do y'all remember Discovery Zone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I love when my parents brought me to Discovery Zone. I loved it. And so I remember I had got my first kiss, but it wasn't on the lips, it was on the cheek. And it was this guy, little boy, he was so cute. He had curls. And he had a sister, and his sister was like, he likes you. And I was like, really? And so we was just going through, just going through the tunnels and everything. He was like, I got a secret I want to tell you. I was like, okay. And then I leaned over and he went, mwah. And I was just like, ah. And that was my first kiss. I don't know why you said throwback and it just brought me back.
No, that's the throwback.
That's a throwback.
I wonder if he still has those curls.
For those that are listening, what do we call, we're like millennials. We're like first generation millennials in here, but like the people who were just born maybe 15, 16 years ago. Discovery Zone was like, I would say a celebration station, but they may not remember that either. It's more like a fun place.
It's
right?
like Chuck E. Cheese on steroids.
There you go. The way he does it, Chuck E. Cheese, you had the food, it was like McDonald's. You know how McDonald's had the balls and everything? It was, I can't even remember. I can't believe I remembered that.
She said straight Discovery Zone. She started smiling.
Right,
she
she
lit
did.
up. You guys can't see her in the studio. That's a great.
That was a good memory.
It was H-Town too. It was
Okay.
H-Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It was in H-Town, bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I want people to know where can they find you at
Okay.
and follow you on.
Okay, so
Not
you
stalk.
guys.
You know what? That is the word of the day.
That is the word of the day. Absolutely. So you listeners, you've been informed.
At the end of the show, I'll do a disclaimer.
Oh my gosh,
These
is
are
the end
jokes.
of the show already?
Oh, the hour it goes
Yeah,
fast.
it flies.
It
It flies.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys.
We could go on, but
It's
time.
like we just sat here for like 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, you guys. Okay, so my Instagram is Belle Lundon. That's BelleLundon. The U is different. It's spelled just like London, but with a U. And Belle is with the E. And so you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me pretty much everywhere. The only thing that's different is my Snapchat. That's ITZ Belle Lundon. But, you know, my Snap is kind of crazy. That's how you really get to know me. But I keep it cordial on Instagram. You'll never see me post anything too crazy. I'm scared to post on Instagram. That's why I only got like 22 pictures. Like.
Right. I got to tell you, animals, when you post animals, do you get their permission to put, like, cats and your pet dog? I think, do you have a...
Oh, you're talking about Bay.
Yeah.
That's my dog, Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Shout out to Bay. Do you have any upcoming performances or anything coming up?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, I am performing at House of Blues Tuesday, March. I want to say March 16th or 19th, whatever that Tuesday is. Next Tuesday at House of Blues. It's free. I love the free. It's free street parking after 6, free admission, and I'll be singing. I'll actually be singing a song I just wrote to a Future beat. So if you guys want to listen to something different, come to House of Blues and ask for the Belle Lundon table. Come sit with me. Like, I want you guys to sit with me. I love it when I'm sitting where people want to hear my music and share that energy.
Right.
There you go. Well, thank you for doing our show, bro. Where's my phone?